Good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. I'm Bill the Geek, broadcasting live from, where am I? Morelia, Mexico. Woohoo! This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we make videos about the joys of living in Mexico. Once again, we're broadcasting live. Cameras are kind of working okay. The one that I'm looking at right now, I can't quite get the lighting right, so bear with me, but we'll go with what we got this morning. We have a lot to cover. We made new friends here in Morelia. We took a tour of downtown Morelia. I've got lots of clips to share with you. Our Facebook group is growing. We have about 362 members right now. This get to 1,000 by the end of the month. Sign up. But we have a lot going on. Let's see who is in the house this morning. We got Char Williams in the house this morning, and Char, she knew I was looking for some spy sunglasses. So about an hour and a half ago, she sent me a picture. I think I'm going to go ahead and order those this weekend. We got Matt Brazelton, I believe that he is in Ahihic. Hope everyone has an awesome day. Go Buckeyes, Matt. Go Buckeyes. And I'm not going to talk about football today, but I just figured out that Oregon is now in the Big Ten. How did that happen? Jamie is in the house. He'll be here. He's trying to set up shop in San Miguel Allende. Let's wish him well, see how that goes. Dave James in the house. Good morning, Dave. And we got Hola, mijo. It is so nice to be here one more time and on time. Can you believe it? You're not on CP time. And for those of you that don't know what CP time is, that's colored people's time. That means late. Jamie, congrats. Stefan is in the house. Ola Stefan. And my new friend, now you can't say I'm always late. La Dulce Bita in the house. I happen to think that she's in Morelia right now, shopping around. She's been here for about a month, checking out the city. She has a home in Italy. She's scouting. Maybe she'll be living here part-time very soon. When you coming down, Char, I saw you on Jose's channel too. David, my neighbor David, I'm just a click away from calling you on the phone to see if we can finally get together for breakfast. And we got the P lady in the house. Saludos, Bill. Saludos, everyone. Lesson learned is in the house. Steve in the middle of Iowa. Ooh, Iowa. What a wonderful place to be. G Fontaine in the house. Good morning from Hudson Valley, New York. Wishing you un sábado bello. Oh, thank you. Sábado is Saturday. Eric Nickerson in the house, and great howdy to everybody. Liston Henry, I was talking about you this week. Liston, when was that? Today's Saturday. Must have been Thursday. Yeah, I got stuff to say about Liston. I got stuff to say about Liston this morning. He doesn't know. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. We got Keith Hanna in the house. Char Williams, Jamie. Oh, people hooking up. She thinks, so she speaks. Bill and Todos. That means and all. Watching beautiful Morelia this morning. Good for you. I hope you guys don't have any hurricanes. I hope the weather is going well. The weather here right now, the weather here in Morelia is really nice. It's partly cloudy. It's probably about 73 degrees. No. It's probably about 62 degrees. It's a little chilly. You can see I got on undershirt, I got this fancy shirt, then I got this on. I got gloves on. I got special magical gloves this morning. La Dolce Vita, see, I got them. I got them, girl. I got the gloves on to protect myself from the mosquitoes that have been biting me and making my hands all swell up. Katrina the Maker, we haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Great to see you in the house. Okay, we got a lot. Computers are working. Computers are working. We got high-speed internet. We're running at about 500 meg, which is plenty of juice to keep us going. Electricity is on. Both computers are firing very well. What else is there? The cameras are kind of working. So, and look who's in the house. Marco. Marco is in the house. We did 3 interviews with Marco, put them up like about a month ago. And I want to thank Marco so much for giving me all the information about the little magical cities I've been visiting. He turned me on to Zinzunzan. He turned me on to Pátzcuaro. He turned me on to Juanizio, the island. He turned me on. He gave me a list of, because his family is from Morelia. He lives in Chicago. He's a great guy. He's getting ready to retire, thinking about moving back to Morelia. But I want to reach out and thank him. I met a new friend. I at the, I don't know. It was a couple of weeks ago. I went to a gathering here. And let me show you this. I went to a gathering at this place. It's a great restaurant. It's called Cielo Cocina Fusion. And here it is. This is what it looks like in the daytime. It's a fabulous place. And we went there. I went there with the Italy lady. About a couple of weeks ago, we met a lot of expats. The expats had a big gathering here. We ate Mexican food. The place is owned by Eddie, who is from Morelia. He moved to Chicago with his wife, lived there for 16 years, came back here, and that's where I met Rosie. And let me show you Rosie. Rosie and I got together this week. I'm going to show you Rosie in a minute. And Rosie, me and Rosie, we had breakfast. Here you go. Here's Rosie right here. Rosie, hi, Rosie. There's Rosie right there. She's having a special Mexican dish there. Usually I don't take pictures of food, but I was really aggressive and adventurous. And I had bacon, eggs, and hash browns, and that croissant, and with warmed butter. We had coffee and green juice. And I tell you what, it was the best breakfast I'd ever had in my entire life. It was awesome. So Rosie, I'm going to do a couple of videos with but before we ate breakfast, we had an interview. Here you go. Here's me and Rosie, and we did 4 interviews. She's fascinating. She is a fascinating woman, and that is where Liston comes in. Liston Henry. Liston Henry has been working with Rosie, and she's a wealth of she blew me away. We did this interview, and I met her at the gathering about 10 days ago. She helps people with immigration. She helps people with finding apartments in Pátzcuaro and Morelia, where I live now. Yeah, she can help you find a place to live if you're coming to Morelia. She has translation services. And I don't see Brian Maiden in the house just yet. I'm wrong. Here's Brian Maiden right over here. Good morning, Brian. And I want to tell you something that I asked Rosie for you, Brian. But so she does immigration. She can help you with your visa, your 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year permanent visa. And I'm putting up, I think, her first video tomorrow. It's about immigration. She covers it all. And then I'm going to put up another video with her about how she helps people find housing, which can be a real that can be a trip finding a place to live. I know. She helps you with translation services, and I'll tell you what, I know some Spanish. I think in Spanish, but my Spanish sucks, you know, when it comes down to it. But sometimes I'll be talking to people and I forget if I'm speaking English or Spanish. But there's certain situations where having someone with you to translate things, like when you go to get your cell phone service or when you go to get your internet service, and they're laying out all this contractual paperwork in front of you, especially when you get a cell phone. When you get a cell phone and sign up with the Mexican cell phone service, you got to sign like 10 pages of documents. You got to read through that. I can't do that. So Rosie will go there with you, read through the documents with you. I mean, all kinds of legal stuff you got to do. Rosie will help you with those things. Rosie will, she gives tours through Morelia and Pátzcuaro. And she told me she does weird things like people want to know where to shop, where to buy shoes, all kinds of stupid stuff. But it's not stupid for us that want to know these things. But I think she's very bubbly, fluent English. She's from Morelia, lived in Dallas, Texas for 16 years. And she's an incredible wealth of information, and I have put her contact information in the description below, and I have put her contact information at billthegeek.org. If you go to billthegeek.org and go to FAQs, you will see her name at the top. But I do want to say this. If you contact Rosie, she does charge for her time and her services. She charges like 400 pesos an hour. That's $20 an hour. So, and I don't, if you contact her, I don't make any money. It's like Alvaro, the immigration attorney who does a lot of work in Guadalajara and Ajijic, Chapala, Jocotepec. Hundreds of our subscriber family members have gotten visas through Alvaro, and I haven't made a dime from Alvaro. If I was making money off Alvaro, he would be buying me a Corvette. So if you contact Rosie, I don't make a dime off of that. But when you do contact her, just say, hey, I heard about you on YouTube from Bill the what am I? I'm Bill the Bill the black YouTube guy. Say, oh, I heard about you from Bill the black YouTube guy. Okay, you can say that. Then say, okay, how can I pay you? How can I pay you? Make sure that you pay Rosie, because some people are weird, man. Some people, you'd be surprised. Some people want to talk to you like 3 or 4 hours, and they think, you don't have anything else to do but talk to them. People are funny. So anyway, that's new information. I'm pretty sure I will have her immigration video up tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to put up like her housing video, then her translation papers video. Let's get back to Brian Maiden. Let me get back to let me get to some comments, and then I'll get back to Brian Maiden here in a second. Thomas. Oh, let me stop. Justin Henry. Rosie said, "Oh, okay, let me back up here. Liston Henry has been working with Rosie to find an apartment here in Morelia. And out of the blue, she says, well, do you know Liston Henry? I says, well, yeah, he's a subscriber. He joins me every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. She says, well, I'm working with the Liston to find and the neighborhood I think she has situated him in is in the neighborhood where that restaurant is a fabulous restaurant. And Rosie had nothing but fabulous things to say about you. And once you get here, we'll have to go to that restaurant and have some bacon, eggs, and croissants. Woo-hoo! Okay, Thomas Smith, are mosquitoes typically a problem? Okay, let me get right down to it. I haven't had any problems with mosquitoes in Morelia only 2 times, but I have screens all over my apartment. Okay, so here's what happened. I'm flying the drone, which is another story. This is like 3 weeks ago. I'm flying the drone's up in the air. And when the drone is up in the air, you're busy. Okay, I look down at the hand. I feel the mosquito. It's on my finger. It's on this finger right here. It's sucking blood, but I couldn't do it. And it's trying to bite right here. Okay, so it gets a bite. And then the next day, my hand swole up about the size of a softball, and it was itching all the time. It was terrible. That means terrible. It was bad. And then, so in 48 hours, the swelling went down, the itching stopped. And then last weekend, I put the drone up again in a park nearby, and I looked down. There was a mosquito on the finger next to it. Mosquito. Same thing happened. That was this week. That's why I bought these gloves. I got these gloves Thursday. Now when I fly the drone, the mosquitoes can't get my hands. You'd be surprised. So I've been bitten by mosquitoes twice here in Morelia. Both times I had the drone up. In Puerto Vallarta, there were a ton of mosquitoes. And when you get bit by a mosquito in Puerto Vallarta, those bites linger forever. Also, when you go to the beach in Puerto Vallarta, they have these, they call them sand fleas. So when you go to the beach, they get on your legs, and you might go to the beach and get like 20 sand flea bites on your legs. But those bites linger. In Guadalajara, Ajijic Chapala, and Matt Brazelton chime in on this. The mosquitoes might bite you there, but it seems like the effects only last for a couple of hours. Not like Puerto Vallarta. They got monster mosquitoes down here. So I've been bitten. I've been here 2 months and a couple of weeks. I've been bitten twice. That's the worst effect I've ever had in my life from mosquitoes. So when you come down here and you get a place, if you get an apartment, buy a house, whatever you do, one thing you want to do in Mexico for sure is make sure that you have screens that really work. Really good screens. And I'm paranoid, so I always wear, look at what I'm wearing. I got screens, but I got long sleeves here, and under the long sleeves, I got some more long sleeves. I got long pants. Mosquitoes love me. Some people, mosquitoes don't bother them. Let's move ahead. Dominique, buenos dias todos. That means hello, everybody. And David, hey, Bill, go stand in the sun for a minute and you will lose that jacket. And that is so true, man. It's like if you're inside in the Morelia area, and I think this is true for Guadalajara, Ajijic, Chapala area. You can be inside. You might have sweaters on and stuff. You go outside and be in the sun, you be sweating. Brian Maiden, good morning, Bill. And still struggling with my health. Hope I can get it under control. I might go and get some medical advice after the broadcast. Brian, pretty boy Maiden, you hang in there. When I was talking to Rosie, one of the interviews I'm going to put up in about the next 2 weeks with Rosie is a segment on Mexican governmental health care for expats. Actually, it's for all of Mexico. You can be an expat, you can be a Mexican, you can be from Venezuela, as long as you have a visa. She told me about one form of health insurance. It costs like $1,000 a year that pretty much covers everything. She told me about some other health care. But then last week, Brian Maiden said, well, he said, you said, Brian, in your dreamland, you would be interested in senior care. I forget the senior care place where you have a few years on you. You live there full times. They give you 3 meals a day. They have doctors and nurses there. You sleep there. I mean, you live there. And I asked Rosie, well, can you help people that are looking for places like that? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, how much does that cost? She says, oh, those places will cost you about 13,000 pesos a month. 13,000 pesos a month. And that's doctors, nurses, sleep at night, food to eat. That's about $650 a month. In the United States, they call them senior citizen homes. Okay. But anyway, Rosie can help you, Brian, pretty boy Maiden, find a place like that. But I bet you got a whole bunch of drugs you take, Brian. So you're going to have to import those from the U.S. Dominique, the breakfast was hey, I told the owner, Eddie, I said, Eddie, this is the best breakfast I've had my entire life. Brian, I'm telling you, it was good. Take care of yourself, Brian. Yeah, see? Oh, and if you're new to the channel, we're a big family here. All these people making comments and stuff. We get together every Saturday. And if you're new here, let us know where you are, what you want to know, what you have to say. If anybody would like to be on the show when we go live, it's real easy to hook up. And you want to talk about something. Maybe you have a service that you have to offer, and you want to talk about it for expats living here in Mexico. But if you're new here, I'm just a conduit for all these loving people here in the house. Yeah, Brian, see, we all take care of each other. And look who's here. None other than William Mustache Stone Man. Buenos dias, mi compadres. That means how you doing, everybody, brothers and sisters. My name. Good morning, everyone. Do you guys residents in Mexico report your new address to INM every time? Let's say you move around every 3 or 6 months. Legally, if you move to a new address, you need to report that to the Mexican government within 30 days of your move. And I'm in the process of getting that done right now. It's not at all hard to do. I have a video up on that. It's like called change of address in Mexico. There are specific papers you have to fill out. You have to write a certain letter. And in this video that I created, it gives you and the letter has to be written in Spanish. Something like, why did you move? Are you still living? Can you walk and talk? Stuff like that. So if you do not report to them within 30 days, then they can give you a fine. But it doesn't cost any money to change your address. I went and did it when I moved to Mazatlan. And if all your paperwork is good, you're in and out of the offices there in like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, so if you move around a lot and you don't want to get fined, let them know where you are. Dominique, you are very welcome. She's wait till these videos come out. You will truly enjoy her. She's a wealth of information. Ray Garcia, saludos from El Paso, Texas. And he's advertising. Sure, click the like button. Lenora Wilson, good morning, Lenora. Thanks, Bill. Rosie is great and the best in what she does in Morelia for expats. I look forward to seeing and meeting you soon. Come on down. And that restaurant that I showed you where we had the breakfast, that neighborhood is fabulous. If I would have known about that neighborhood before I found my neighborhood. And Rosie said she lives like 7 blocks from that restaurant. That neighborhood is super fabulous. Yeah, Mary Jane in the house. Good morning, everyone. Happy to see you in the house. Ryan, got to ask, you a sports fan besides Dartmouth football? Of course. Okay, I'm not going to regress. I'm not going to go down football road. Yes, I went to Dartmouth. I played freshman football at Dartmouth, but Ivy League football is kind of like high school football. I mean, and when you go to a game, they got crowds like a high school, like 200 people showing up at a game, you know. And I was born in Columbus, Ohio. So the only sports that I cover is the Ohio State Buckeyes football, and I watch March Madness basketball sometimes. Other than that, I don't watch sports. I make YouTube videos. And thank you, Dominique. Assisted living. I should have written it down. That's what Brian Maiden asked us about. And I asked Rosie specifically for that information for Brian Maiden, assisted living places. And she knows that kind of stuff. Helen, morning, Bill. Oh, long time no see to hear how you are. Everything. I'm so lucky and blessed. I am so lucky and blessed to live in Morelia and just to do what I do to meet all of you, to meet people like Rosie and Brian Maiden and all the people in the house. Life is wonderful. I love Morelia. Hola, Bill. Went on my morning walk for about 2 miles. The walk is becoming easier. I'm adjusting to the high altitude. And let me say, like I'm on the 4th floor. So for 10 weeks, there's no elevator in here. So for 10 weeks, whenever I leave the apartment, I've got to walk up and down like 4 flights of stairs. And when I first moved in, I was having a heart attack every time I got to the apartment. I was like, I can't breathe anymore. But now, and I walk my 5 days a week. I walk my 4 miles in the morning very early. And that's up and down a hill, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down for an hour. That's like an hour and 10 minutes. And now for the first week, I can walk up these 4 flights of stairs and it's like nothing. I'm like Superman. I'm Superman. And for those of you that are just starting to maybe get some exercise, and I ran track at Dartmouth College too, freshman year. And I even got 1 collegiate point. You know, I got 1 point at a track meet one time. So I've been working out okay. So for practice at track at Dartmouth College, I would practice with the 7th fastest mile relay team in the country. And the way we would train is we would jog through the mountains of Hanover, New Hampshire. And I'm running, I'm jogging with these guys. They're like for real athletes, right? So, and then I jogged for years, but then my knees started to hurt. So I just started walking. I don't jog anymore. I don't lift weights, but walking is so easy to do and it's so good for you. So if you're just starting to do some health stuff, walk around the block for 1 week. Just walk around the block 1 time and then add a block each week, add another block until you get up to like 30 minutes of walking. And I think you'll find that when I do my walk, then I come back, do my meditation for about 10, 20 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes. And when I miss my walk and when I miss my meditation, it really throws off my mental health. Okay, so let's get off of that. And let's talk to Ann. Good morning from Georgia. Hola, Georgia. Great to see you in the house. Char, for some reason, this slide didn't start for me until 11:25. I will go back and watch it though. Ooh, that's weird. Ooh, you must be in a time zone. Good morning, Crazy Boy Radio in the house. Haven't seen you in a while. Great to have you here again. Hola from Craig from Edmonton, Canada. We are going to Morelia for a couple of months in January. I'm telling you, Craig, come on down, but bring some warm sweaters and jackets because Dave, who's lived here for a couple of years, I think, he says at nighttime it might get down to like 39 degrees. In the daytime, it's going to be 72, 75. You'll be fine. But bring some warm clothing. And pretty boy, Brian Maiden, for my travel fund and your friendship. Come on down. Thank you so much, Brian, for contributing to the channel so that I can travel and pay my rent. Thank you so much. Okay, what's the name of the neighborhood where you met Rosie? I've got their okay. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Does this work? There you go. You can see the second line there. It says COL Nueva Chapultepec. Sorry if that, but you can kind of, if you take a screenshot, what happens if I do that? There's the neighborhood right there. Chapultepec. Okay, now let me explain that to those of you that don't know what neighborhood. Like, I've lived in a lot of places in the United States, and every neighborhood doesn't really have its own name, but everywhere in Mexico, they have these things called colonies or colonias. Colonies, Every neighborhood has its own name, and that's what Dominique is asking about. My neighborhood now is called Periodistas. That means the journalist, which is kind of weird. I live I live in a neighborhood that is its name is called the Journalist. So if you come to Mexico, if you move to Mexico, wherever you live, you will live in a colony, whether you know it or not. And that colony will have a name. So I have this little money thing where I carry my money. So, I'm going to the store, going somewhere, but in my little money thing, I have my full address with the name of the colony, because sometimes you can tell the taxi driver your address and they have no clue what that street is. But if I have the colony name written down in there. So they say, it's in this colony. That will help them find out where you are going. Okay. Is that restaurant in the St. Rita area? Okay, I think I just told you the colony. Okay, I'll give you the address here. It is on Boulevard Garcia de Leon. Boulevard Garcia de Leon. An excellent neighborhood. Bill, have you ever watched NHL hockey? I used to be an NHL hockey junkie when I was younger, and me and my friends would play hockey on the creek in Ohio. Stefan, any chance of getting Rosie on the show? Well, I'm gonna put up some videos, at least 4 videos about Rosie shortly, and I'll see if she would be willing to do some showtime. I didn't get a notification, but my Spidey sense alerted me that Bill Dallas Lewis is live, chatting about the joys of living in Mexico. Thank you, Buck. I don't know. YouTube is funny. Sometimes you have to click the subscribe button again. When you click the subscribe button, make sure that you click the notification button so you get notified. Earthly Color Brown, going to start rebounding again. Thanks for fitness. Encouragement, Alaska. You are very welcome, Dominique. Hey, Bill, when I was booking my flight to California, I saw that Volaris has an annual plan. You can fly as much as you want for about $750 USD. I think we need to do a fundraiser and get this for your travel. Ooh, La Dolce Vita. That's a damn good idea. Yeah, if we have a fundraiser here on the channel and we can raise $750 and I can travel all around Mexico and not worry about expenses. Thank you very much, La Dolce Vita. And I'm going to say that's Susan. She's been here for about a month now. And I had some notes here, but she was using her plastic. I don't know what kind of, I don't know if it was a debit card, credit card, whatever it was, but she's been here for some time now, several weeks. And then her card got canceled, so to speak, because somebody was trying to use her card in Dubai. In Dubai, right? On another part of the world. And me and Susan, we use the same banks. I'm not going to say the name of her bank. I'm not going to say the name of my bank because, we got all kinds of weird people on the planet. But she let me know that she just got her replacement card sent overnight to her hotel just a couple of days ago, which is very refreshing. Also, I told you guys that where was I? I was in Pátzcuaro. I was in Pátzcuaro. I went to put up my drone. This is like last week, and I was missing a cord. It's a major piece of functioning cord. It connects the camera to the drone remote control. So you have your drone, you plug your cell phone into it, and then you can see whatever the drone is seeing. You can see in the camera. It gives you XY coordinates. You can do all kinds of stuff. So I couldn't fly because it's like an $8 cord. I wanted to bring this up because I had to order a new one on Amazon. And this story I think is kind of funny. But so I ordered that a week, like 10 days ago on Amazon. It was a Thursday. I ordered this thing on Amazon US on Thursday, and they said that they could deliver it in 3 days. They said that they were going to, clicked the wrong button. They said they were going to deliver it in 3 days, which would have been a Sunday. So sure enough, I ordered it on Thursday. I got that new cord for my drone on Sunday. I got it 3 days later. And it was pretty cool because it wasn't DHL. It wasn't Federal Express. It was an Amazon delivery. And it was so cool because when it says that the delivery is with the driver, then they put up a map. And you can see on the map where your address is. You can see where the driver is. It was so cool. So I got the new part for my drone on Sunday. It was really cool. And I'm bringing that up because Susan, with her card plastic situation, it took them like a week to get it here. But things work out. Things work out. William Mustache Stoneman, he's traveled throughout Mexico. Cielo Cocina Fusion. We enjoyed many a great meal there. There you go. We don't mess around. We don't mess around here at the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. We only show you the best stuff to do, the best place to go, the best places to be. Hola, Temple Moore in the house. Always great to see you with your flowers and that great smile. And Renee Rodriguez, can you order from Amazon without a bank account? That's funny, right? That's a okay. That's almost saying, can you go into McDonald's and order food without any money? The answer is, I'm going to say no. You have to have some way to pay Amazon. And that means debit card, credit card. I don't know what. I don't think you can use PayPal. But go look at their everybody that you got to give money to electronically. They all have their own set of rules. So yeah, you need a credit card, a debit card. They don't do PayPal. So yeah, you have to have some method to pay them. Okay, the buck stops here. Just click subscribe. Was already subscribed, and there's a little arrow thingy. Click that, and then clicked all. Hopefully, I won't. Right on, dude. Yeah, if you subscribe, and if you're new here, and you like what you're hearing, you like what we're doing, click the subscribe button. Why not? Yep, Bill, I got a new card, and I'm ready. I'm already burning it up. Right on, girl. Burn up that card. Okay. Hola, Querétaro. Hola, Querétaro. Hola a ti. David, I just had the same problem with my card. Someone in the Middle East tried to use my number. I heard that Amazon was hacked. Okay. So be careful with your cards. And for what it's worth, I've said it before, but I always leave my card here at home. I never say never, but okay. So I'm going to leave here today. I might take maybe $450 out of the bank. That'll last me like then I've got 3 weeks of cash to carry around. I don't carry it all with me. Usually I only carry the equivalent of about $50 with me. I mean, I'm not going to spend $50 most days. But all these little shops and tiendas, I might go get some milk, some eggs, some tomatoes, this and that. I always pay cash. All these places that I go and visit, I could use my debit card or a credit card. I always pay with cash, and I just go to a bank and get some money out of the bank. And as soon as I get home, I put the card back in my secret spot where my safe is in a safe is in a safe, all with different combinations in my secret spot. And that way I don't have to worry about losing my card because, everybody takes your card down here. You could just use your card everywhere, but not me. I don't know. The only places I use my card is at the grocery store. I go to the grocery store. Maybe I'll use the card at this one grocery store. But other than that, I pay cash. So everybody, you do what you want to do. There is a no card option for cash. Go on Amazon and look at payment options. It sends you a location. Oh, that's very interesting. Never used it. And remove all bank cards from any subscription. Very good. That's very helpful information. Very good. Here's an important tip to protect your debit and credit cards. Lock them from your online banking account. Okay. One change I've made while traveling is I pay only in cash or credit card, no debit. Only to withdraw CAS from ATM. That way, if there's fraud on my card, they don't shut it down. Lesson learned. Thank you very much. William Stoneman, fabulous dinner at Restaurant Diego. Restaurant Diego in Morelia. Be sure to check it out. We'll have to put that on the map and maybe get a video. Maybe do a video and put it up on the air. Okay, Susan right here, La Dolce Vita. She's been here for about 3 weeks now, and we've been having fun going to breakfast occasionally. And she's adventurous. She gets out on her own. She's been showing me parts of Morelia. I had no clue what was even here. And she said, Bill, you want to take a tour? You want to go on tour? And I said, sure, why not? So, where are my notes? Here we go. We went on a tour through Morelia, and it was fabulous. And we met here. This is in El Centro, and this tour was about El Centro. And this is at the Art Institute of Morelia. It's right downtown. And what you're looking at here, there's a cathedral in there, and it's attached to a museum. And it's all people come. So we meet down there. And Susan arranged for us to have a guide, and his name was Rodrigo. There's Rodrigo right there. And he was amazing. There he is, Rodrigo. He was a wealth of information about the history of Morelia, of Mexico, of the Catholic Church in Mexico, various the laws of Mexico. And we walked and he talked for 4 hours. We went, and And the real name of that place that I just showed you here is called Artisan Institute Michoacano, or Casa de las Artesanías. Casa de las Artesanías. It's right in El Centro. And we go inside, and you have to imagine that all of the buildings that you're going to see here, these buildings started to be built in like 1551. That's like 150 years before the Mayflower took off from Europe. But in this building, people from all over the state of Michoacan, which is where Morelia is, they bring the things that they make from their little cities that they live in, and each little city has and this is in the middle of this building, this beautiful plaza. And so these people bring all kinds of things, pots that they create, artwork, furniture, and each city has its own specialty. Those masks come from one pueblo. Pueblo means town. Wicker from another town. And you'll see different table types, and each type might come from a different town. And all of these are on display in the Casa de las Artesanías. And all these little trinkets come from different towns throughout the state of Michoacan. So you can actually come and buy those things. And pretty much all of the money goes to the artist. I think that the Casa de las Artesanías, I think that they get a very small percentage. And so then Rodrigo takes us out into the streets of Morelia. And he's telling us, he's going to take us to all of the major buildings. And the whole time he's walking and talking. And he's here we go. And notice there's a taxi in front, and then you're going to see those white vans. Those are called combis. They're all over the state of Michoacan. And no matter where you are, there are combis, and combis will take you to a lot of different places, and they only cost like 10 pesos. So instead of buses, I've seen buses but most of the transportation you get around in combis. We walk around some more. We get some live music going on. I think he was playing Funk 49 by the James Gang. And now we're coming up on the Cathedral. And this cathedral is called Santa Iglesia Cathedral. Santa Iglesia Cathedral. This is the main cathedral here in town. And with this beautiful plaza, there's Rodrigo and Susan. Children, also notice the mixture of the type of people you see as far as age groups go. Yeah. So Rodrigo is getting ready to tell us about the history of the cathedral, of the Spanish coming to the area, the history of the Catholic Church, what's the difference between the different types of priests in Mexico, the Jesuits versus the priests versus the Dominicans. It was just astounding. And what happened just right here? Oh, here we go. And then he talks about the structures and the art on the walls outside of the church. And check out these doors. Here we go. The plaza. There's Rodrigo again, but you're going to see 3 doors. On the right, there's one in the middle. You want to look at the big one in the middle because he says the big one in the middle is only to be used by the Pope. And Rodrigo went into detail about what each piece of artwork was. And I'm shooting video. I should have mic'd him up and recorded him for the full 4 hours. I'm going to say you come to Morelia and take Rodrigo's tour. And it was just so much information. And I would strongly suggest find a guide wherever you go, and you will find good guides and terrible guides throughout Mexico. And I mean it when I say that. But so we walk around and notice these old historical buildings and the straightness and the cleanliness of the streets. I mean, this is a big city, population 700 or 800,000. Some people even say 1 million. And here is the name of the cathedral: Santa Iglesia Cathedral, Morelia, Michoacan. Bienvenidos. That means welcome. Welcome here. And we're just going to go into the church briefly here. This church is huge. I've been to New York City 1,000,000 times, to the city. I've never gone into St. Catherine's Cathedral. I should have, but look at this. I'm going to show that again. Look at this. They began building this in like 1541, something like that. And I was just thinking, I mean, look at the ceilings and the artwork. Look at the chandeliers. Just, I mean, also, I asked him, well, who built this stuff? Look at that. I asked him, well, Rodrigo, who were the people that built these things? I think that's always funny. He said there were 2 types of people that actually built all the buildings you see, not only the cathedrals, but the buildings that you see downtown. He says 2 types of people built these things. One type of people were slaves from Africa. Slaves, and I'd never heard of this, but I thought that they only had African slaves in the United States, but it ended up that they had African slaves throughout South America, and Mexico is actually in America, and that would be North America. So they had African slaves that not only built many of the buildings, but they were also like servants, they're cooks and, cleaning. And then the other type of people that were building these buildings were the indigenous people. But they passed a law, I think it was around 1600, that you could not enslave the indigenous people. So the indigenous people, they would pay them to come and build these buildings. It was like a job. Rodrigo said they didn't make hardly any money doing that, but they paid the indigenous people. So let's walk around a little bit more here. We're in the church. Just so happens that in this church, Santa Iglesia Cathedral, they have one of the oldest organs. That is the organ for the church right there. You're looking at it up top there. I would love to hear Ray Charles. I'm going to show it again. Just think, can you imagine you put Ray Charles or Elton John on that bad boy playing Rocket Man, or, put the Who. I want to hear the Who get on that organ. Yeah, Rick James. Give Rick James that organ. Let it come alive. Let it all just come to life. Yeah, I got more video. We walked around for 4 hours. I got more video. Morelia is fabulous. And the thing is, I was talking about Rosie. She helps. If you tell her where you want to live in Morelia, and I said, well, how much for a nice place in El Centro? And she said around 13,000 pesos. That's about $600 to $650 a month in today's money. But she said she had a place available now, one for 13,500 pesos and another one for 20,000 pesos to live in El Centro. And that's about $1,000 a month, 20,000 peso, más o menos. Okay, let's go over here and see what is going on. Here we go. Dominique, doesn't Morelia have a very old art school? Yes, and I think we went into the art school, and I think I have some videos from the art school. So let's keep on cranking here. Let's keep on see what people are talking about. Bill, I can't see the group chat comments. There's a little button on the side. It says show comments. I can see them. Mary Jane, thanks, Bill. I will definitely take that tour when I visit in January. Buck stops here. Facts. The transatlantic slave trade went to South America, Central America, North America, and the Caribbean. The natives were not enslaved because they knew how to escape. That's hilarious. They knew how to escape. They knew the land. That is awesome. Fabulous tour. The tour was in Dominique. The tour was Susan was there. It was breathtaking. All the information and the information about the priest and the different and the Catholic Church's control and the governmental control and the individuals involved. Well, I mean, it was everybody. When people visit Mexico, a part of getting off the plane, when you get off the plane and enter Mexico, it should be mandatory that you listen to this 4-hour historical informational presentation for sure. Yes. Just to appreciate what's going on. Mary Jane, thank you so much for contributing to the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for clicking the like button. And Jamie, thank you from Canada. A beer for Bill. That's almost like a 6-pack down here. Thank you so much, Jamie, for contributing to the channel. And Deborah, good morning to you, Deborah. It was a great time, Bill. Thanks for coming with me. That was awesome. That tour was awesome. Still have some video clips to share with you of the tour. And again, I've got a bunch of clips from this tour. This week I'm going to put up a Rosie video. I'm going to put together I'm going to do some video editing of this tour, put that up this week. And then I'm going to get on the road. People have been asking me about the butterfly Pueblo Magico near Morelia. I think I might go there this week. My goal is to take a trip, a local, a trip within an hour and a half away. If I can get there on the bus, go there, do my research before I get there, video the place, put the drone up. So every Saturday I should have new clips. And again, if you're new here, let us know who you are. What do you want to know? What do you have to say? It's your show. I can put up clips forever. What? I don't know. I just got a message from somebody. Okay, let's see what's going on. Here we go. Axel Foley in the house. Buenos dias, todos. Okay. But Axel Foley's been with us forever. There's some people in the house that have been coming live for Saturday for like 3.5 years now. We're headed to 4 years. We're headed to, I guess, January 27th will be our 4th year of enjoying the joys of living in Mexico. Okie dokie. Now, I got some more clips here. Okay, now, so we looked at the organ. Let me go turn off this comment. Click this thingy over here. Okay, so we saw the organ of the church. I mean, this is Morelia. And if I get in a taxi, if I order a taxi right now, I can be in El Centro in about 8 minutes. And you can just get lost in it. And it's just so mind-blowing. There is the Morelia sign, Morelia, Morelia, Morlia, Morelia. Hey, let's do it again. Morelia. Now, we have all the Mexican flags up because last week was Independence Day, a huge party. I'm pretty sure that's why you see all of those Mexican flags. But there is the Morelia sign again. And again, at this time, it's about noon on a Tuesday. Noon on a Tuesday. And notice all the people peacefully walking around, no garbage on the streets, young people, children, people my age, people older than me walking around. Morelia's, I'm going to say that where was I living? Wherever I was living on the coast, they didn't have a centro like this. No, and I mean, more combis. You just give them 10 pesos, you can get all around. And the combis are those vans, places to tour, things to see, food to eat, and to imagine all of these buildings go back 500, 600 years. I mean, that's before the Mayflower took off from Europe. And everywhere you walk, there are side streets. And one thing that Rodrigo told us was that almost every street leads to a church. When you get to the end of that street, there's going to be a church at the very end. And you can see that little side street there. And you can see the church wooden door right in front of the end of the street. it's just to walk around, and this tour was fabulous. I rarely go to El Centro. I enjoy my neighborhood, but it's refreshing to go down and be a part of history. You feel like you are in history, and the more you see, the more. There you go. Another church with the priest. He was in there taking confessions. These people are waiting to go to confess for their sins. And that's like plated gold. At one time, all of the gold that you see was real. At one time, all the gold plated stuff, they were using real gold. That's what Rodrigo said. But the Catholic Church said, well, we can't really have a lot of real gold in the churches because that's just that's too over the top. Ostentatious is what Rodrigo says. That's too over the top. We can't have all that real gold like that. So now they don't use the real gold anymore. And either this is an art school or it's a convent. And Rodrigo talked, we got to talk about priests and nuns here in a second. Priest and nuns. Because they had different rules about how you get to be a priest or a nun. And it used to be if you were the oldest boy in your family, then you had to be a priest in the Catholic Church. Okay. And that changed. I don't know what it is now. He said now you go to school to be a priest. He said, yeah, you have to pay to learn how to be a priest. But to be a nun, I forget how that worked. But to be a nun, you would go down to the convent and you would stay there, and then they would lock you in your room at night. Can you believe that? You're a nun, and then they would lock you up in your room at night. Okay, whatever. I mean, history is just unbelievable. I only have a few more clips. Okay, more side streets. Oh, Morelia, there's so much to see, so many things to do. Lovers making out on the bench. Just can't get a room. I'm talking to you. Get a room. I believe that this is a college. There's Rodrigo, and he's going to take us out into this patio, and he's just going to talk for like an hour, talking about the church and the government and history. Hey, baby, they don't have stuff like this in Ohio. They ain't got nothing like this in Ohio. No, they don't. Okay, I only have a couple more clips. We're headed to our last stop, which is a church. It's called the San Diego Church. And this walkway right here was not always here. It was a path, but this path led dead into the Church of San Diego. And the leaders of the church, they noticed that it was a dirt path. So thousands of people would come down this dirt path to go to church. I'm going to show that again. So the powers that be saw all these people going to church. They show up really dirty. And the powers that be said, we can't have these people showing up to church all dirty. So they built this walkway. It's no cars are ever on this walkway. It was made just so that people could walk to church and they would be clean before they went inside. And here is the Church of San Diego. And before we go in, Rodrigo gave us a presentation about what we were going to see inside. And you're going to see some artwork inside that is out of this world as far as what they put on the walls inside. So you have a church there and a place for the convent and the offices for the church. But here's the inside of San Diego Cathedral. I mean, look at those little ornaments. There's stars and crosses, and there's one more thing that they put in there: stars, crosses, and flowers. Look at the flowers. So that was the last thing on the tour. What a fabulous trip. Woo! Dominique, I'm so excited to get to Morelia in a week. Come on down, girl. I mean, I love it here. I mean, because you can go to first of all, for me, the weather is fabulous. I love this weather, even though I've got my gloves on for the mosquitoes. I got 3 layers of clothing on. But it's like Dave said, if I walk outside and get in the sun, all of this can come off all the way down to the t-shirt. I can take it all off. I could take the t-shirt off. The weather is fabulous. The people that I've met, the Mexican people, have been wonderful. There's and on my notes, I got to say, I've changed my food. I've changed what I eat in Mexico. I don't like Miracle Whip anymore. People say, well, can we bring you something down when we come to Mexico? I'd say, yeah, bring me some Miracle Whip. I don't like Miracle Whip anymore. Somebody brought some down, and I think it was Rudy and Sheila. They brought down some Miracle Whip, busted it open. I don't like it anymore. Now I like mayonnaise. I got bread in my freezer. I don't like bread anymore. Now I like tortillas. I'm a changed man, 20 years in Mexico. But there's all this food in Morelia to eat and great places to eat the food, great environments. I'm having a great time down here. Okay, good morning, Deborah. Yes, I think I'm backed up. Brian Maiden, thanks, Bill, for another great Saturday. Morning hope. All in the house has a great weekend, and see you next weekend. Peace and love, and good luck, Brian, with all of your medical challenges. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing to the channel so I can pay my rent, eat food, and take trips. Thank you so much. Buck stops here. Weekly or currently, Mexico peso 19.4 on the week chart. We're still in the green around 1.3%, hovering around 19 to 20 on a 1 month chart, posting biggest gains in over 30 years. Yeah, the Mexican peso's value is still down relatively. I checked this morning. This morning for rent, I'm paying about $467 a month, which is good for me. Very good for me. Lisette Chang. Ola from Hudson Valley, New York, regarding the combi vans. Are they accessible for people with mobility issues, such as with canes or wheelchairs? I don't think so. There must be some of them here, but I have yet to notice ones where you can visibly see where where they have that little thing that goes down. You roll your wheelchair on there. I would say if you're in a wheelchair, you're going to have to fold that thing up and be able to put it in the combi. I'm going to say getting around town, the sidewalks, unlike Ajijic, unlike Chapala, unlike, I'm going to say, much of Guadalajara, in Morelia, in El Centro, if you're walking or rolling around in your wheelchair, it's very accessible. But the combis, I'm going to say, no, not really. But I'm sure they have special combis. Woo! We got some kind of truck going by. Woo! What kind of truck is that? Woo! Boo! It just went by, so we are good to go. So we have 68 people in the house and 41 likes. We're having a good time here today. Yeah, I think, plus I think I have a lot of peace of mind down here in Mexico. See you next week from Puebla. I've got to visit Puebla and see what is happening there. William Mustache Stoneman, good for you. He is William Mustache Stoneman has traveled more places in Mexico than I've ever thought about traveling to. A wealth of knowledge, and his Spanish is getting better every week. Thank you, William Mustache Stoneman. And also, everybody, it's election time. We're about 8 weeks from the big day of election. So everybody get out there, vote blue up and down the ballot so that we can maintain our freedom for another 4 years of love and joy, truth, justice, and the true American way. Tell all your friends and family to get out there and vote. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm just checking through my notes right here to see what I got going on. So that's what I got. Anybody got any comments? If anybody ever wants to do an interview, if anybody ever wants to join me, and you can be talking, I can be talking, and we can have conversations. You have a service to share that you're trying to work in Mexico. I strongly suggest younger people or anybody working online, if you're open, Mexico is a fabulous place. One, it's very affordable. Some people would say cheap, but the weather is so good. The people are so friendly. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. 67 liking, 45 likes. Please smash the like button. Also, watch the ads before, during, and after the live video broadcast so Bill can get paid. Thanks, fam. Thank you, Buck Stops here, for the advertising. Yeah, but I've been down here 20 years. I love it. I'm looking out my window, blue sky. I can see the city. Okay, now, what is the name of that tour? Can we have the contact info of the Morelia tour? I will collect that information and have it for you next weekend. Now, I don't know the exact name of the tour, but I know that Susan found it on Airbnb. Not only can you rent apartments on Airbnb, but they have a button. I think it's called Explore or something like that. And she clicked the Airbnb button, and this tour came up. So, there you go. You are very welcome, Mary Jane. I will be sharing that information with you for sure next Saturday. Woo wee. All right, y'all. Well, I that's all I got for today. I can hang out. I'll hang out as long as somebody has a question to ask, a comment to make. I'm not sure what short trip I'll be making to what pueblo this week. It'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, but I will have fresh clips of more places to see in Mexico. Also, many times the taxi drivers, they'll say, well, what do you do here? What is your job here in Mexico? I say, oh, I make YouTube videos. Or you make YouTube videos about what? Oh, about pueblos, cities in Mexico. So taxi drivers give me the names of cities. I picked up a few more Pueblo Magicos, which are magical cities around Morelia. I want to visit all of the Pueblos Magicos. They're like 8 or 9 of them, all within an hour and a half of Morelia. I want to visit all of the Pueblos Magicos and make videos about those. Also, here at the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, what? I just went brain dead. I'm getting old. Also the videos that we make, we were in Pátzcuaro. We went to the island of Pátzcuaro, and to see the guy. There's the statue on top of the island, and that is Morelius. And Morelius was one of the founders or one of the leaders of the War of Independence. That's what that statue is. So we go places that you won't find a lot of English speaking YouTubers go to. What YouTuber what YouTuber hasn't gone to Guadalajara, Puerto Vallarta, Cancun? Sure, you can find a million videos about Cancun, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, but Pátzcuaro, Morelia. You guys ever hear of Morelia before I got here? I hadn't. So, whatever. So we try to take you places where other YouTubers might not take you. Okay, Bill, have you visited San Cristobal de las Casas? And what is your angle on this city? Let me take a screenshot of that so I can look it up and put it on my list. Jamie, do you use taxi, Uber, or Didi more in Morelia? Very good question, Jamie. If I can help it, anywhere in Mexico, I never take taxis. Your regular taxi, I don't take regular taxis because usually they're going to be twice as much as Didi. I used to use Uber until they charged me 2 or 3 times and nobody showed up. 2 or 3 times, and I tried to email them, say, hey, you charged me for this, and nobody showed up. It was like $15, and they didn't email me. So I stopped using Uber. They're still on my phone. I can use them. So most of the time, I'm going to say 100% of the time, I use Didi. And I use Didi when I was in Mazatlan. I took like 300 trips. They told me, well, you've taken 300 trips. You've taken 300 trips. But in Mazatlan, many times they were rerouting their drivers. So I'd order Uber, and by the time they reroute, we've assigned you a new driver. Once they do that like 5 times, you're staying out in the street for an hour. Didi shows up faster. They're cheaper than Uber. They're cheaper than the taxis. So, Jamie, I use DD here in Morelia solely. Okay, now, and do you have hot springs close to Morelia? I know there are a bunch close to San Miguel Allende. Yes, there are hot springs here. In addition to Pueblos Magicos, I want to visit the hot springs close to Morelia. Okay, so I got to make a video of that also. What other cities that surround Morelia do you plan on visiting? One city that I want to go to, Aguas Calientes, for sure. And I've got to look at the map because, oh, here we go. Let's see what Marco, because his family, this is Marco. You've seen the videos that we've done with him. He's given me so many tips. Bill, look up Morelia's history. Historians agree that he had African ancestry through his Morelia's through his father. Morelia's namesake was Afro-Mexican. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Thank you so much, Marco. And that's something that a lot of us don't think of. And let me take a screenshot of that. And Rodrigo was telling us that there were many Afro-Mexicans and Afro-Mexican communities in Mexico, which is something that we don't hear about at all. I mean, in the United States, we don't hear any Mexican history, let alone Mexican African-American history. Ms. Chang, what is the biggest difference you've seen, good or bad, in the 20 years you've been living in Mexico? Well, good or bad, the biggest difference is I'm just going to come out and say it. I moved to Mexicans. I moved to Mexico because Mexicans treat me great. They don't care what I am. This is the land of mixed cultures. You got Afro Mexicans, French Mexicans, German Mexicans. If you see somebody and they're really white with blonde hair and green eyes, if you're in the United States, you might think they're Irish or German or something like that. But if you see somebody really white with blonde hair and green eyes in Mexico, you don't know what they are. They may be 100% Mexican, speak no English, never heard of Ireland. They got people of all. So you come down. One of the things I love about being here is I don't get categorized. People don't know where I'm from. Some people think I'm like from Cuba. Some people think I'm from Jamaica. People have no clue where I'm from. There's such a lack of racism down here. They have a color thing that they're into. They like in all the advertising on billboards, those are all very light-skinned Mexicans. If you look at all the billboards in Mexico, you very rarely see a person of my skin color or darker on a billboard. But I love the Mexican people. For 20 years, I just love the Mexican people because I've experienced. I grew up a quarter mile from the Ku Klux Klan. My junior high school elected George Wallace for president when I was in 7th grade. I had a white girlfriend for 12 years, and her father told her, if I ever see you two together, I'll blow both of you away, even though I know I'll go to prison for the rest of my life. I don't need that in my life. So I'm going to say for 20 years of being in Mexico, it's only been good for me. And that's come from the lack of racism and the peace of mind to just be able to just be myself. Woohoo! Let's see what else is going on. 1 week trip to Cancun for 2 people cost on average $1,700. This includes accommodation, food, local transport, sightseeing. This answer is provided by Google. I've been to Cancun. I have no desire to go to Cancun. I was there like 35 years ago. I have no desire to go anywhere where there are tourists in Mexico. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of this tip right there. Personally, I was there in Cancun for a week and I spent a little bit more than that. No, I never want to go to Cancun again. I doubt if I'll ever go to Puerto Vallarta or Mazatlan ever again. Axel Foley, what specific Morelian dishes and drinks have you tried? Pretty much, Axel, I eat at home. I cook every day using my air fryer, and I eat at home just about every day. Doesn't the Mex, very good. Doesn't the Mex in Mexico mean mix? Very good. That's a very good question. I know that the Mestizos, this is the land of the Mestizos, the land of mixed races and people. And let me take a screenshot of that question. Thank you very much. Okay, Katrina the Maker, are you close to the Christmas? Oh, that is so funny. Katrina the Maker, check this out. I was in a taxi Tuesday. No, I was in a taxi Thursday of this week, Katrina the Maker. I'm in a taxi Thursday of this week, and this taxi driver is giving me the names of towns that I could visit near Morelia, and I wrote them down. And this is what I wrote down from the taxi driver Thursday of this week. Check this out. Does that look familiar? Right there? Is that the town that you're asking about right there? Is that funny or what? So that was the suggestion from the taxi driver. Now that the taxi driver has told me this, and now that you brought it up as a question, I will surely have to move that up on my list of places to go. Ryan, as a mixed race guy, hearing your experience with the Mexican people encourages me so much. It's wonderful down here. I love it. I love it. I've loved Mexico since I visited San Luis Potosi in college 40 years ago. Woo, Marco, Dominique, you're thinking of mestizo. And there you go. Mestizo means mixed, indigenous, African, and European. Mestizo. Thank you so much. Steve in Kansas City, are there giant amusement parks in Morelia similar to Disney in animation? I don't understand your question. Are you looking for amusement parks or are you looking for an animation park? Wow, cool beans. Char Williams. I watched several videos about the Black Mexicans and their histories. One video told how slaves escaped into Mexico and they fought with them and were given land. I have to look up the town name. Thank you very much, Char. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's fun. And, you know, you guys, Marco, thank you, Marco. You're welcome. I'm sure he is thinking or saying in his mind. And for what it's worth, if you're watching the rebroadcast and you'd like to donate to the channel, in the description below, there's a donate link, and you just click donate, and you can use Visa, MasterCard, American Express. It's in the donation. It's under donation in the description below. Or you go to billthegeek.org, and at the top of the FAQs page, there is a donation link there. Yes, the Yarburls have various videos on blacks in Mexico. Gotta go, Marco. Thanks for showing up. Thank you for all your information and advice. Thank you so much, Marco. G, thanks so much for sharing your history and experience. So good to hear that Mexico feels like a good landing space for black expats. Okay. Oh yeah. I love it, and I'm going to say G. What I'm going to say is stay away from tourist towns. Yeah, stay away wherever there's expats, wherever there's a lot of expats. Don't go there. Go to places where you've never heard of, or maybe I've done a video on, and be the only expat in the town. Okay, I'm going to go out today. I'm going to go to the grocery store. Yeah, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to go to the pharmacy. Once this broadcast is over, I'm going to see thousands of people in about over a 2-hour period once the broadcast goes down. And I'm not going to see one expat. I'm not going to see any expats. Go somewhere where on a day-to-day basis, you don't see any expats. And your life will just change in a whole wonderful way that you can never imagine. Hey, from Dave, Maria, just what? And that's Dave. He lives in Morelia. Maria is his wife. Dave, what did Maria just do? Tell us what Maria just did. What'd she do? Okay, we've been at it for like an hour and 42 minutes, and we still have 62 people in the house. If we still have 62 people in the house, I should have gone through my images more slowly. Yeah. Anybody else have questions, comments? Yeah, questions, comments. I've taken screenshots of places that people want me to go. And I'm just going to be on the road. This is what I'm going to be doing till I die. Until the day I die, I'm just going to make YouTube videos about the joys of living in Mexico. Oh, there we go. Scroll down. Yeah, so I'm going to go to the store, get some food items, some fresh tortillas. Here we go. Axel Foley, so far, have you seen or met any black folks in Morelia? I have not seen or met a black person, or I'm going to say, I don't even know what to call black people anymore. I'm going to say African Americans. I have not run into or seen any African Americans in Morelia, not one. I mean, I after 2 months, I didn't see any white people in Morelia. Pretty much. Okay, now, anticipation of my soft landing in Mexico keeps me coming back Saturday. It's a great place. I love it. Bill, when you are visiting Agua, when are you visiting Aguas Calientes? Perhaps I can meet you there. Sounds good to me. I think I'm going to stay fairly close to Morelia until I run out of places to visit near Morelia. And let me say this. Let me say this. When I was in Mazatlan, I didn't really start doing videos. When I started doing videos, I was in Chapala. Okay, so when I was in Chapala, I could visit Ajijic. I could do a Chapala video, a Ajijic video, maybe go to Jocotepec. I did that. I got many videos on those 3 little towns. I could go to Guadalajara. Okay. Yeah, okay. I did a fair amount of videos in Guadalajara. But if you live in Chapala and you're a YouTuber, then after you do Guadalajara, what do you do? When I was in Mazatlan, okay, well, you got Mazatlan, but then you got Tepic. Tepic, that's like 3 hours from Mazatlan. I've been there. I did a video on that. But near Mazatlan, I went to Durango, which is like 3 hours from Mazatlan. But there's really around Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara. There's not a lot there. Okay, some people would say I'm wrong, but in the Morelia area, I'm 3.5 hours from Mexico City. I'm like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Guanajuato, one of my favorite cities, Los Lagos Moreno. I've done a video on that. Is only like an hour and a half from here. There's so many magical cities right around Morelia and spiraling out. I can do more travel now than I could before. So I'm going to stick as close to Morelia and try to create as much video content without spending a lot of money. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, Dave, what are you talking? Yeah, man, I'm starting to see more and more gringos in the area. You're starting to fill up Morelia. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't leave your house, Dave. Don't go out of the house. Don't leave the house. Katrina, the maker, thank you so much for contributing to the channel. This is how I pay my rent, travel. And I'm just going to be travel. That's what I'm going to be doing. Thanks to the people that are watching now and the people that click the like button and visit and subscribe. And for people like Katrina that contribute to the channel, thank you so much. Dominique, Bill, do you have any plans or desire to travel in Europe or other places outside of Mexico? I tell you what, Dominique, when I was writing and illustrating children's books, the Air Force sent me to Izmir, Turkey, England, Germany, and Italy for 9 weeks to visit Air Force bases and teach kids advanced computer graphics. And that was fabulous. I loved driving through the mountains of Germany, and it was so wonderful. You're in your rent-a-car on the autopista. They call them autobahns. You're doing like 90, 100 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you see a castle like out of nowhere. You can pull over, you got to go in the castle, look around. I loved it. I loved London. It was fabulous. I loved driving through the mountains in Italy. Fabulous. But I tell you what, man, that travel is expensive. There are some places I would like to go in Asia, Thailand. and see the statues and the structures. That's a whole new language. That's another big paycheck. I'd love to go to Egypt and see the pyramids. I'd love to go to Kenya and see the mountainous areas and the giraffes and the lions and the leopards and jaguars out running, and monkeys and gorillas wild. I'd love to see all of that. And there's so much of the world that I would love to see. But Dominique, I'm going to be real honest about it. There's so much geographically and history-wise in Mexico. I mean, I'm 68 years old. I'm 68 years old. I can explore. Let's say I live to be 88. That gives me 20 years to explore. I'm just going to keep my butt here in Mexico and explore the heck out of it and learn more history, eat more food, meet more people. But I'm just going to stay in Mexico. I have no desire to leave at all. Oh, also, I speak some Spanish. When I was in Germany, I met some wonderful German people, and they were opening their hearts to me. They wanted to talk to me, but I didn't speak any German. In Izmir, Turkey, the people were so friendly. They were opening their hearts to me, but I didn't speak any Turkish. I was in Italy, and Italy people were kind of standoffish. But I speak some Spanish, and I'm very hesitant to go to an Asian country and have to speak Mandarin Chinese or Japanese. But I'm not super fluent in Spanish, but I can get around Mexico, learn new things. I can see pyramids, many pyramids right here in Mexico. I'm good. I'm not leaving. I might go to some other South American countries where they speak Spanish, but pretty much I'm going to hang tight here in Mexico. Steve and KC, the change and drop in petty value, seen our Fed rate drop if 0.5% this week. Petty value, is that peso? Okay. Well, the peso went down. The value of the peso went down like 3 weeks before the Fed dropped its rate, which was this week. So that had already happened. So once the value of the peso went down significantly, and it went up slightly this week, and then the Fed rate dropped its rate, and the peso did not change. So, yeah, okay. Ryan, can't wait to buy a steak when I visit Mexico later this year. And I think you would be talking about carne asada. Carne asada. I love to get some quesadillas asada, and that's with the asada is a way of cooking the meat. And I don't think I've ever had a steak down here, but quesadillas asada, that's with beef, grilled beef with cheese and beans and onions. Ooh, rock my world with some good Mexican food. Does Mexico have a mega lottery? Mexico has various lotteries that you could get into down here. I don't know. I don't gamble, so I just don't know. Quesadillas. It is whatever you want, man. Aha. Oh, yeah. Give me some good quesadilla asada. And maybe I should go out and eat more Mexican food. But I don't eat that much. I don't eat once a day. So I just, I'm not big into food. And look at me. I'm not heavy. I'm not a big guy. I exercise. So I don't even think about food. I only eat food to survive. And I'm going to be real honest. I just eat food to survive because that's what they say you need to do. So and when I go to small towns and villages, I don't go into the restaurants and order food, so I guess that's one of the downsides of the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. You don't see a bunch of Mexican food stuff going on. Okay, so you guys, well, we've been at it for almost 2 hours now. And we got more questions, Ryan. Once daily meal is great, Bill. Living healthy, yeah. I just eat once a day, and that's it. When I'm done, I usually don't eat until like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. SP, Steve, I have seen bullfighting in Madrid, Spain, yet does that go on in Mexico or even in Morelia? I think they, where was I? I was in Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta had a bull ring, but I think they stopped doing bullfighting. I think they stopped it in Mexico. It's such a cruel, terrible thing. I mean, that's terrible. It should be banned throughout the planet. Dave, hey, Bill, go to the carniceria and get a good T-bone. And the carniceria is the meat market. Yeah. And that one thing that I do know about all over Mexico is if you stay out of the grocery stores to buy your meat, your fish, your chicken, that stuff is pretty much fresh from the farm. If you stay out of Walmart, even your big grocery store chains, Soriana, Lay's, stay out of those places. Go to the local butcher store where you got the owners that live behind the grocery store, and they're bringing in that meat fresh every day. Bill, do you participate in the Day of the Dead parade or just a spectator? Well, the Day of the Dead is coming up to be celebrated the 1st and 2nd of November. And I went to Day of the Dead, the parade in Mazatlan. It was fabulous. Got all painted up, did a video about it, got dressed up, all that kind of stuff. And I think in Mazatlan, they had the Day of the Dead parade on the Malecon. And that Malecon is long. It's miles and miles long. But I stay away from big crowds. And once you've done it, I did it once. I'm done. For me, it's like going to the 4th of July fireworks. I mean, you've been once. Okay, you want to go see Boom 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 for 30 minutes with 3 million people, and you're gonna drive your car, take 2 hours to get there, take you 3 hours to leave, 3 million people. No. So Day of the Dead, I'll be here at the crib editing video. The Gonzalez, good morning, Bill, continuing in God's country. Okay, right on. Miss Cheng, hey, Bill, what's in your refrigerator right now? You're funny. In my refrigerator, okay, what's in there? I've got some milk. I have some cold water. I have some tomatoes. I keep my potatoes in there. In my freezer, I have probably a week's supply of frozen chicken thighs. I have some ground beef in my refrigerator. And in my refrigerator, I have some cooked chicken thighs that have been cooked in the air fryer. One set of cooked chicken thighs is barbecued, and the other one is just garlic seasoned air fried chicken thighs. And then I've got my condiments like barbecue sauce, hot sauce, got some frozen bread. That's about it. I'll have more when I get back. When I get back from the store, I'm buying tortillas today. Yes. And then I think I'm going to get some more ground beef, make up some tortillas with onion and green peppers, tomato. Woo, and I'm going to roll those up in some fresh tortillas. Maybe I'll get some cream, sour cream to put on. Also in my fridge, I have ground cheddar cheese. Bill, do you hit the gym or just walk? I just walk. And the reason that I just walk is, I've been working out since I was like 16 years old. And I've been professionally trained as an athlete from playing college football, running college track. And the thing about working out, like going to the gym, once you go to the gym, then you got to go to that gym and use their machines. And what happens when you travel? I travel. So if I travel, what kind of workout do I do if I'm on the road? I'm not at my gym. I have to find a new gym. But the walking routine, I walk 5 days a week, 4 miles, takes an hour. It doesn't matter where I am. All I have to do is walk out of where I am, walk for an hour, walk back, take a shower. I'm done. My gym is wherever I am breathing on the planet. And that plan seems to work for me. Earthly color brown, fresh from the farm, locally raised. Aha! I remember being asked to pick which live chicken. That's funny. I wanted for meal and no longer was hungry. That's fresh. That's organic. Which live chicken do you want? Good morning, Verlaine. Great to see you here. Oh, Verlaine, we videoed her. And I've had breakfast with Verlaine in Mazatlan. And she just drove it was a 40-hour drive from Canada, where she's from, to La Paz. And she just got back to La Paz. I bet you're very happy. Do you prefer corn or flour tortillas? Dominique, very good question. In Mexico, for those of you that don't know, they have two types of tortillas. The corn tortillas, they're usually, I'm going to say, heavier and thicker. That's what I'm going to say. And then you have the flour tortillas, which I would say are lighter and thinner. And Dominique, I prefer the flour. I prefer the flour tortillas. I like them thin and light. And that's it. Yeah, a little butter on them, and then I throw in the ingredients, and I'm very happy with that. SP, are you seeing some chicken-only markets? Yeah, there are a lot of chicken-only markets. Some places. Oh, yeah. I walk out of here today. There's a meat market. It's owned by a family. I can walk there in about 4 or 5 minutes. And they have chicken, pork, and beef, and they have various cheeses in their wonderful place. But I walk by there for another 5-10 minutes, and there are several, meaning more than 3 organic chicken shops. I don't know where they get their chickens, but they're always opened, and they look like ma and paw places, but it's organic, fresh chicken. And I've never seen any live, but yeah, lots of places like that. SP. Lenora Wilson, I have to go to get lunch ready for my mom. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Lenora, for joining us today. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bill, take care of yourself. See you next week, bro. Ryan, thank you for joining us today. Woo! Woo! Well, you guys, we got 57 people in the house. We have 53 likes. Some people have contributed some dollarinis to the channel, which is always good. So just hanging out, enjoying Mexico. It's elections week. Get out and vote. Make sure you get some friends of yours and get all ready to vote for Ms. Harris, so we have a great person in the White House. SP in Kansas City. I have recently heard that Mexico has banned all GMO corn. So the only corn in Mexico sold are their Mexican 59 local varieties. Any price spikes in corn prices as a result. I have seen no spike in any corn prices here. And I do have some canned corn in my cupboard. There you go. Okay, so that's, I think I'm going to wind it down unless somebody has any questions or any comments. I think I'm getting ready to hit the road. I'm going to organize my cash, go down to the big market, get some fresh tortillas. I'm going to get some fresh tortillas and some ground beef that's kind of fresh. Rudy Clemens. Hola, SP out. Thank you for a wonderful presentation this morning. Thank you, SP. And Rudy Clemens is back in Mexico. Welcome back, Rudy. I know you're ready to rumble and have lots of fun in Mazatlan with your fabulous wife, Sheila. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that is it for Billy the Kid today. Woo! Let's see. People are okay. Nothing fresh here. It's all shipped and trucked in Alaska. Dominique, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, Bill, and see everyone. Can't wait for you to get here so we can have breakfast in a nice place. So I'm going to hit the road. We are almost out of here. A lot of people. Let's see who is still here. God bless. Thank you. Gracias, Bill. Who is that? Let's see who this is. JR. Gracias, Bill. JR. Gracias IT. God bless. Thank you. Thanks, Bill. We value you. Thank you so much. All right, man. I'm getting ready to hit it and get it. So here we go. Let me turn that on. Let me turn this. Oh, see you next week, Stefan. Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for sharing your appreciation. And here we go. So I've got all the comments turned off. So you all, I'm Bill the Geek, and this is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we make presentations about the joys of living in Mexico. We go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time, rain or shine. Even if we don't have any electricity, or even if our Wi-Fi goes out, we can always use our iPhone as a hotspot and we can still broadcast. They can't stop us because our laptop, our PowerBook Mac, it can go for 2 hours with using my iPhone as a hotspot. So we're here every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Sometimes my mouth just starts going and I just can't stop. So if you haven't done so already, on your way out, click the like button, click the subscribe button. On the way out, if you want to make a contribution to the channel with some dollarinis of any format, that's all right. You can do that too. So I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. And we're out of here, man. We are gone. Adios. Hasta luego, amigos. And que te vaya bien. Love you all. Thank you so much for joining us today.